You know that feeling at 98,000 miles when the truck still feels strong, but the noises get specific? A cold start chatter that wasn't there last winter, a tiny stumble on humid mornings. Boost that feels fine until you ask for a long pull and the shifts get busy. That's the moment Ford didn't print on the window sticker. The EcoBoost failure point isn't a single part exploding. It's a package that matures right around 100,000 miles if you've treated maintenance like a suggestion. Tonight, I'll show you what really fails, why the calibration hides it for years, and what the 100,000-mile bill looks like when it lands on your phone. Plus, the Owner Playbook that turns a $3,500 day into a $600 tune-up. The real villain here is something nobody talks about: accumulated load. The EcoBoost wins when you keep it in its efficiency island. It loses when heat, fuel, and airflow drift out of spec, slowly. 10,000 miles of headwinds, big tires without gears, short trips, and push-it-then-park-it habits add up. The control system is brilliant at compensating, until it isn't. Then all the things it has been hiding become one invoice. Let's name the usual suspects so this isn't vague: oil shear and timing system sensitivity. Small displacement, high specific output engines rely on oil quality for phaser and chain behavior. Long intervals plus enrichment events equals thin oil plus varnish equals timing. Chatter on cold start and lazy calm authority when hot. Charge air condensation, certain years tosh conditions. Humid, cool mornings can put water in the intercooler. One hard merge feeds it to the cylinders. Stumble, misfire, trims throw a fit. Hot side hardware and control. Wastegate actuators and linkage live in heat. Clamps and couplers relax. A small leak or lazy actuator becomes underboost, and the ECU protects hardware with fuel, masking the real cause while hurting oil again. Intake valve, airstream hygiene. DI only years can coke valves. Later, dual injection mitigates it, but a dirty air path or leaky post-MAF coupler still forces trims, kills timing, and makes the trans hunt. Individually, none of these is a scandal. Together at approximately 100,000, they write a story your wallet can read. Here's a realistic 100,000-mile invoice I see over and over in some form. Prices vary by market. I'll give parts/labor bands and why each line exists. 1. Customer states: cold start rattle, worse in winter, occasional stumble after rain. Diagnostic time: 1.0 to 1.5 hours at $150 to $200 per hour, $150 to $300. Live data: cold/hot logs, bore scope for valves if DI only, smoke test for leaks, wastegate sweep. 2. Timing drive and cam phaser refresh, if rattle confirmed plus adaptation limited. Parts: chains, guides, tensioners, phasers, seals, $650 to $1,200. Labor: 8 to 12 hours, $1,200 to $2,100. Why it's here: thin, old oil and fuel dilution from years of enrichment, hardened varnish. Cold film is weak, phasers get noisy and lazy. The update makes the start calm again and restores authority so the engine stops chasing itself. 3. Charge air cooler, CAC service or replacement with drain duct updates. Applicable years. Clean and update: $180 to $350 parts, 1.0 to 1.5 hours, $150 to $300. Replace core if oil soaked, damaged, $350 to $700 parts, 1.5 to 2.5 hours, $225 to $500. Why it's here: condensation plus short trip habits plus one hard pass equals cough, misfire code, rich limit events. 4. Hot side fix: wastegate actuator or leak at a clamp coupler downpipe joint, actuator linkage or solenoid, $250 to $600 parts, 2.0 to 3.0 hours, $300 to $600. Couplers, clamps, Josh gasket, $60 to $180 parts, 0.5 to 1.0 hours, $75 to $200. Why it's here: years of heat cycles move hardware out of perfect. Underboost forces richer commands under load, completing the vicious circle. 5. Ignition refresh, plugs plus any weak coils. Plugs $60 to $140 plus 1.0 to 1.5 hours, $150 to $250. Coils, per, $45 to $90, often 2 to 4 get done. Why it's here: fuel-rich protection and condensation episodes leave deposits. At 100,000, plugs are due anyway. A weak coil shows up only under boost. 6. Fluids, filters, and housekeeping. Oil plus filter, do it after repairs, $80 to $150. Engine air and cabin filters, $30 to $60. PCV/CCV check and refresh if needed, $30 to $120. Cooling stack clean, if shop does it, $80 to $150. Why it's here? You're resetting the ecosystem. Dirty stack equals hotter charge temps. Post-MAF leaks equals permanent trim chase. Subtotal reality check. Low end if you caught it early, $1,300 to $2,100. Full failure point package. Phasers plus CAC plus actuator plus plugs Bosch coils, $2,800 to $4,100. Add tax, fees, maybe a loaner, and there's your 100,000-mile bill is wild text. Now, how did Ford hide it? They didn't trip a PR wire. The calibration hides it. For years, the strategy quietly adds a little fuel on long grades to keep cats/turbos safe. Adjusts timing to keep knock margin with hot, thin oil. Uses adaptive cam air shift logic so it still feels normal. It works until the stack of tiny compensations is taller than the system. Then, the mask slips at cold start, on humid mornings, and in sustained load, you don't get a catastrophic failure, you get a bundle. Here's the owner math that decides whether you ever see that bundle. Scenario A, dashboard oil set and forget. Oil every 10,000, no cooling stack cleaning, 34 to 35-inch tires on stock gears, roof bars left on, tow haul only with a trailer. Expect one big day between 90,000 and 120,000, $3,000 to $4,000 plus a year of May miles per gallon. Scenario B, meet the engine halfway. Oil every 5,000, 4,000 in winter short trip life, clean stack quarterly, tighten post-MAF clamps each season, tow haul on hot grades even empty, re-gear for 34 to 35 seconds or don't run them. Expect plugs on time, one coil here or there, maybe a TAC update. $500 to $1,200 spread across seasons. No big day. Scenario C, 100K refresh by schedule, not ambulance. At 90 to 100,000, proactively, plugs, smoke test, and reseal intake path. Service CAC/duct/update if applicable. Inspect wastegate actuator/linkage. Clean stack thoroughly. Oil before a trip, not after. Catch a marginal phaser early and you're deciding calmly, not from a waiting room. Let's tighten this into a mechanics map you can screenshot and actually use. The EcoBoost 100K failure ecosystem and how to break it. Thin oil, lazy, noisy phasers, cold rattle plus mid-range slop. Break it, 5K oil, correct viscosity, especially before summer trips. Headwind/grade, rich protection, fuel and oil. Break it, tow haul and heat, hold 2,400 to 3,000 RPM. Don't lug at 1,600 for MPG. Humid morning, CAC water, stumble, misfire codes. Break it, 60 to 90 seconds warm-up discipline, ensure CAC drain duct updates. Purge with a light roll-on before full send. Heat cycles, actuator/linkage wear plus clamp relax. Break it, seasonal hot side inspection, replace tired clamps, sweep actuator in service. Dirty stack, higher charge temps, more enrichment. Break it, clean radiator/intercooler/condenser fins from the backside every season. Now, the service counter script that cuts a wild estimate down to what actually fixes the truck. Line items only, parts numbers, labor hours, and test results you use to call each part. If timing rattle is confirmed, quote phasers, chua chains, chmak guides. If not, do not sell the kit just because. For CAC, pressure test and drain/update first. Replace core only if it fails or is oil soaked. Show me boost leak results. I'll approve clamps or couplers with proof. Plugs yes, coils only if they fail a load test. Oil after repairs. Cap shop supplies at a sane number. If they bulk, get a second quote by phone with the same line items. What about mods? Intake upgrades that disturb MAF readings, giant tires with stock gears, and permanent roof bars move you out of the efficiency island and into the enrichment swamp. If you love the look, re-gear. If you love the whistle, keep the air path airtight and the MAF scaling honest. If you love racks, take them off when you're not using them. Is the EcoBoost a bad buy? No, the opposite when you respect the system. The engine is excellent at real-world torque, with fewer stops if you run it like a machine, not a myth. The hidden failure point is really a neglect point that the software delayed long enough for you to forget there were rules. Let's end with a one-page, 100,000-mile playbook that keeps you out of the group chat horror stories. Oil is strategy. 5,000 miles, 4,000 in winter short trip life. Change before towing seasons. Purge and protect. 60 to 90 seconds warm-up on wet, cold mornings. Roll into boost before you ask for full torque. Stack hygiene. Clean the cooling stack every season. Bugs and fluff equals enrichment equals thin oil. Airtight intake. Hands on every coupler/clamp past the MAF every season. A tiny leak equals big trims. Gearing honesty. 34 to 35 seconds. Regear or accept the lugging fuel bill. Tow/haul in heat. Even empty on long grades. Hold the gear where the cams are happy. Proactive CAC/duct check. Update where applicable. Replace only with proof. Test-based approvals. Don't buy parts without the data that convicted them. Do this, and your failure point becomes a maintenance checkpoint you budgeted for. Plugs, a couple clamps, maybe a key AC service. And you keep driving a truck that feels strong at 150,000. Don't do it. And the 100,000-mile bill won't be one part you can argue with. It'll be a story your truck has been telling quietly for 5 years. The calibration kept the secret. The invoice won't.